Yeah, you know, you know, you know. Yeah, you know, you know, you know. Yeah, you know, you know, you know. Yeah, you know. Come to my crib. Let's jump in the pool and hop in the tub. It's like a vacation. My people are chill, the punches are real. I know you've been patient. Make yourself home, go pull out your phone. No drama, we kill it. All of the fake shit, got no reservations. For none of you hating. It's one life we taking. Mad shots we taking. Say ass is shaking. So what if we naked? It's so much vibrating, but no, cause we taking. I need a vacation, I need a vacation. It's my motivation, it's my motivation. I need a vacation, my medication, and my medication. I need a vacation, under sedation, yeah, under sedation. It's my motivation, need a vacation. I need a vacation, I need a vacation. It's my motivation, it's my motivation. Under sedation, need a vacation. I need a vacation, and my medication, my medication. Under sedation, I need a vacation. That's where I'm staying. I feel like I need a blanket or something. I'm gonna get Mr. Penguin. Meet Mr. Penguin. He's my friend for whenever I just want to feel extra cozy, whenever I feel anyway. I always look to Mr. Penguin for extra comfort, and he's like a marshmallow, so he's extra cozy. So I don't know how to start this off, but it's been bugging my brain to make this video, and I don't know exactly why, but it just keeps on returning to my head to like reach out to some people and just share my story, share my experience. So this is all about returning to self-love and triumphing past experiences that may be ruining your perspective for a positive life, really. Let's start off on the topic of domestic relationships. Like, you have a lover and the person is abusing you. So abuse is physical or it's mental, and I'm gonna share all of my viewpoints the best that I can, because it's a very touchy topic and I'm not licensed, I'm not a professional, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just simply sharing my experience and letting you know all the things that I've learned. So let's talk about domestic relationships. Now, I was in a relationship for 3 years where my partner physically beat me. Not only physically beat me, but he mentally abused me as well. And he would tell me that he's cheating on me. He would tell me that I'm a stupid bee, I'm a hoe, I don't know how to follow directions. When I was driving, he would always yell at me because I don't even know if I had my driver's license at the time, but when you don't drive often, north, south, east, west, you don't, I mean, I was young, I was probably like 16, 15 or something, just about to get my license, barely had driving experience, and the person would always like yell at me.
whenever I was driving. So he was like I think he was already out of high school, so he's probably like 3 years older than me, or 4 years or something like that. And yeah, he would just, like, one morning I slept over there one morning. I got up and I made him breakfast, and I come back and I was like holding the food in my hand, and I like just felt the food get slapped out of my hand, and then I just felt a punch in my face. And then it was just like numerous, and then he was looking in my phone and telling me about this person texting me. This is a person that took my virginity when I was really young, and it was very forceful, mind you. So I feel like all of my experiences when I was young were very forceful and very abusive, and it did kind of make me look at men a certain way, and I never spoke about these things to anyone. No one knew that I'd lost my virginity or like certain things that I was going through until like I went to the doctor, and the doctor told my dad that, or told somebody else that I went with. The gynecologist told him that I'm no longer a virgin, and didn't even ask me if I wanted anyone to know that, but I guess I was a minor at that time, so I guess my information doesn't belong to me. So that got back to my father, and then that got back to my mother, and then I had to tell her like, hey, no, I actually did say no, and like it was a whole forceful situation, and like I was just really ashamed about it. So I had no one to really talk to at that time when I was young. And actually what happened with the person that took my virginity, he later on was feeling very guilty and was trying to be in a relationship with me, and it was calling my mom, calling my best friend, calling everybody. And I had already had gone through a lot of emotional trauma because I didn't want to lose my virginity, and just I had no one to talk to about it, really. So like, even though he was calling my mom, she didn't understand why he was calling so much, and my friend didn't understand why he was calling so much, and that's the reason why he felt guilty and was trying to get back with me. And so I had already decided with him that I don't want to speak with him. I don't want to try. And mind you, like I did try. I was like, hey, he wants to get into a relationship with me. I guess he got over the friends are saying that I'm too young for him, even though his friends weren't there when he friggin' took my virginity to tell him any advice or, you know, what decisions to make. So he got over that hump, I guess, and was reaching out to me to try a relationship. I fell in there and I tried a relationship with him just because I thought that the person that you lost your virginity with, you're supposed to like stay with them. So I didn't speak with him for, I mean, it was years, and I was in this relationship with this abusive guy, and he saw the text message, and I don't even remember responding, or it was probably of me saying, please don't contact me. And I actually got beat for that. And I got beat for numerous occasions by this abusive boyfriend because he was searching through my phone. And so it actually got to a point where I watched a movie with my mom, and I cried and cried and cried. It was Sex and the City, the movie, and like Big left Carrie. He just like left her hanging at the wedding, and she was just like so depressed. And I decided that I needed to leave that relationship. And so it took me a lot. I felt so weak for whatever reason. I felt like I just needed to make it work. Like it's always just like I need to make it work, and the person's just like not good for me. And so I sat in the car and cried with my mom, and I just told her I need to leave this relationship and I just don't know how. And so she said I understand or something like that, and I actually had to take it up with myself, and I had to just block him. Like once I made that decision, it was a final decision, and no one could call me, no one could tell me different. And so what ended up happening was, this is after 3 years of dealing with abuse from this guy. What ended up happening was, we had one really bad argument where he was like ripping off my clothes, shoving me outside so that all the neighbors could see. Nobody in the neighborhood was helping me. He took my phone, smashed it in the wall. I mean, it was horrible, and I had to end up borrowing someone's phone or something and calling my mom. She was with her freaking boyfriend. I don't even know why she brought him. It's so embarrassing. And they had to like rescue me from this situation, and this guy was just like treating me like filth, like I had done him something so horrible. And mind you, like, I was not being a bad girlfriend ever, and this person did this to me. So I never told anyone. I actually just like spoke to him about it later on in life, and I'd like healed, because I'd gone through another relationship, which I'm gonna tell you about, that made me go through a healing process. And I had forgiven him, I'd forgiven myself, I'd forgiven everything that had made me have such low standards for myself. So I still don't speak with him to this day. I just can't. And both of these people would have rathered me to be the carrier of their child. It would rather me be the person in their life forever. But I guess at that point I even had somewhat of some standards, enough to say that, or maybe it was my body, maybe it was God, I don't know exactly, but something in me was brave enough to leave the relationship and move on. So that relationship ended with the abusive boyfriend of 3 years. The mom was calling me, he was texting me, calling me, and I just felt cold. And if you're going through a relationship like that right now, you have to make a decision in yourself. It doesn't matter if it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. The more you have invested in a person, usually people feel like it's harder to leave, but it's harder to live with yourself if you don't make that decision and become cold to the person. It's just a decision. So after that relationship, I had gone through a small healing process in high school. I left him probably my junior year in high school. And mind you, in high school I was extremely active. AP classes, honor classes, clubs, I mean, you name it, SGA, Student Government Association. I was in Future Business Leaders of America, like the above and beyond. And you would never think that this girl that is doing so freaking well in school is going through abuse with her boyfriend. Like legit bruises on my eye, like legit would choke me out, like pull my hair out, like rip my clothes off. You would not think that I was with that person, because I was so good since I was a child at masking my pain. And I think anyone that's going through that, you are going to learn to cope. You're gonna learn to mask your pain, and eventually it's gonna become something unhealthy. And so that's one of the main reasons why this video is coming out, is because it doesn't go away. Your memory doesn't go away until your brain is shut off. And I don't even think it goes away at that point, because other people live with it, and who knows where your conscience is after. So the real solution here is to heal yourself and have understanding of that person's life. What did they grow up like? What are their parents going through or have gone through? And why did that person make that decision and lash out on you? Because you were just in the way of their expression. They just didn't know how to deal with their emotions, and so often they'll start throwing hands, start throwing words, their tongue will go crazy, they'll start cussing you off, and it's not you. You're actually bringing them light. You're actually bringing them joy. You're actually the value in their life. So if they're not worth that value, you need to take the value away and bring it back to your home, to yourself, to that happy place where the light belongs. Another person filled with light and love is deserving of you. And there's how many people in the world? You're gonna tell me that this one person that doesn't even love you truly is worth your time? And no, don't tell me that they're gonna change, and don't tell me that they're becoming better. They have to heal themselves. They have to help themselves before they can even help you or love you. They have to love themselves. So, and I don't mean loving themselves and like treating themselves with physical things, because it's just a cover. It's another mask. Like, true love is at peace, you know? You can tell they love themselves, and because they love themselves, they're able to love other people. I'm gonna move on to another relationship that I went through that was extremely horrible, horrifying for both my family and I. I was off to college now, and I made it a point to leave my home as far as possible, because I just wanted to make my life better so badly, and just like get away from everything that was making me unhappy and unsettled feeling. And I think now I'm looking for that within myself. No matter where I am, I just want to feel that. So this relationship in college started off with the same kind of thing, actually. It was like mentally abusive, trying to control me, upset because they couldn't control me kind of thing, telling me that I was doing something wrong all the time, or like never like was able to communicate in an adult way. You know, you conversate and you say, I felt this way when you did that, and okay, for the future, I'm gonna not make you feel that way. I'll do whatever I can to not make you feel that way. And you just get to a common ground with the person, because of course a common ground is to make each other better, the best you can be, to feel loved, to feel happy, to feel peace. If you're in a relationship and it's not for the purpose of growth, it's not for the purpose of betterment, then that's just a sign already that you need to let that go and grab onto yourself, hold yourself, or hold Mr. Penguin. It started off with the mental abuse, and actually I would have like cash in a box in my closet. I don't do that anymore. And I actually still have like some insecurities when I have cash around people because of this situation, but I had cash in a box that I was saving, and the boyfriend that I had, would go into the box and take the cash out. Now mind you, I'd counted it, so I know how much I'm saving, and he would lie. And next situation was, we're gonna invest in something, and I gave him cash. Dumb. And I think this was before I realized that he was stealing cash out of my savings. And the guy came back and said that he lost cash. Another sign. Like, just saying it now, it's like, you stupid, naive female. But I'm not stupid. I'm very intelligent, and I did piece everything together over time. It was just a learning process to learn this person. And that it was actually very conniving. And so I found out that this person was actually previously married, or currently married, I still don't know the status of it, and had a child. And so that was all in the beginning, and I'd kind of overcome these things. Looking back, my standards were extremely low, and my self-love was extremely low. I didn't see the signs, and I didn't say, oh, this person doesn't even deserve my time, I've got better things out here. I didn't say that to myself. Now I say that to myself, but at that age, 17, I was 17 then, I didn't say that to myself. And I had no one in my family that or friends or anyone that was gonna tell me this person's not good for you, because I closed everyone out of my life until it got horrible. Which I guess that's what happened with the first relationship, is that I got really private and never felt like I could talk to anybody, and until it was really horrible and I felt like I needed to call somebody, that's when I called. So it got to the point where he would be chasing me around the neighborhood. Like, we get into an argument about something ridiculous, like, oh, you said you were gonna cook tonight, and I would say like I'm exhausted, and mind you, I'm like 17, probably 18 at this time, and a man, like a grown freaking man, already has a child out there, is telling me like, you said you were gonna cook tonight, and I was telling him like I'm tired from work and you don't have any understanding for that. So then both people could come together and say like, let's order some food, or let's make dinner together, like something different. If I'm tired and you're tired and it's like you're gonna just get mad at me. So like that kind of argument would turn into like him chasing me outside, and like it would be pouring down, and then he would like lock me out the house, but my purse would be inside, so I couldn't really get away. So I had to like kind of walk around in the rain. And just like that happened once, twice, I think. Like, he locked me out the house, and we're both paying our rent, we're both sharing costs on everything. And one day his friend came around, and like I got my wallet some way somehow, but I had to leave everything else at the house because it was locked inside. Or maybe I carried it because I was already prepared from the last time, and I knew that I was gonna find a way to get the frick out of there. That just reminded me, actually, I'm gonna rewind to the past relationship really quick. My first abusive well, it's kind of like my second abusive boyfriend. We would like throw jars at each other, and I would like throw boots at his head and bust his lip, and like, don't think that he was just abusing me, because he brought something out of me that I felt like I was holding in for my whole life. Like, I felt like I needed to hit something at some point already, and I was real chill, but these because I felt like my life was at threat, like it was being threatened. I would fight for my freaking life, and I would punch and I would kick and I would like get thrown down because he could pick me up, and I would just get right back up and just start punching him again, and it would just happen over and over and over again. And so that same kind of behavior was brought into the next relationship, where this person would be like trying to hold me into a room, and I would just be like, I would go crazy, like get me, like it was as if he was trying to trigger me to touch him or push him. And then that's when everything would turn into the next level. So like it would get to the point where I would just lose my mind. Like, after I got hit, after someone would punch me, I would just lose my brain and just go crazy and just like kick, punch, throw everything, just like I didn't even know what I was doing anymore. I broke tables, I broke mugs, I broke everything I could, and it's probably why I got locked the F out. But you should have never hit me. So that would happen. His friend drove by and like offered to drive me to the I was like, just take me, I don't remember what he said, but I was like, just take me to the train station, I'm gonna go to my friend. And I went to my best friend's house, I'm sorry, my best friend's grandma's house in Orlando, and like he was texting me the whole time, and I was just like, you know, I had cried already and gotten it all out. I didn't really cry a lot actually, until I was just really built up. So like I would be very cold and zoned out about everything, and then, you know, sometimes I would just get to the point where I'd be like, ugh, like it would just all come out. And then yeah, so I got there to Orlando, and I just told her about the whole situation. And then I was like, I feel like I need to go back and get all my stuff, and like the person's telling me that he's gonna do better and he's gonna make all these changes happen. And so like, stupid, I went back and I wanted all my mom's pictures, like all these pictures that she'd given me for my little brother, him being a baby. And I went back and we got into another physical fight. So I'm really chill and I'm really loving to everybody. So it's like, it's hard for somebody to get me to that level unless it's like the person is pushing me, they're trying to get me to a point, and then they hit me, and then it's like, okay, let's take it there. But it takes a lot for me to get there. So these people, both of these people were doing a lot to get me there already, or they would just come out the bat and just hit me. So like, yeah, that happened. I went back and I got all my stuff, and it just was horrible. Like, it was just like breaking everything. Just like, he would choke me, and I had like bruises around my neck and stuff like that, and just like my eye would be black and like busted lip and everything. Like, we would just fight each other really horribly. So you know, the sad thing is that I had actually gotten into a third abusive relationship, and this person kind of like shook me because he was like not happy with, like, I don't know, he like shook me on my shoulders. And at that point, I still haven't told him to this day, but at that point, because I'd already gone through so much, like, don't put your hands on me was my mentality after that happened. And that was the end of that relationship. It was like yeah, now that I'm looking back, I'm also seeing why I made the decisions that I made with relationships at that age. It's just because I was constantly looking for like some kind of a physical, emotional love and support. And so we'll get to that stuff a little bit later in this video. The way that second abusive relationship ended was that I had to call I called her my godmom. I called her and I was like, listen, please call my dad because I feel like I can't call him, like, and just like get him to come pick me up, please, because it's really bad. And so I actually went back to I called my ex-roommate back at the dorms at the college, and I was like, this relationship's getting, this is my husband actually calling me, how funny. Babe. Babe. Hi, babe.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. What you up to?
I'm recording a video for the girls.
You have time to talk for a moment?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just want to get back to you on your messages. First of all, you look great. Babe.
Oh, thank you, babe.
Good on you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, like, it was a nice surprise to open my phone up too. Your rings I'm taking care of this week, so you should have them, I'm hoping, by the end of the week.
Thank you, baby.
If not, then next week on Monday.
Okay.
The house situation, yeah, babe, go for it. If you want to get away for a couple days, you know, like, just, I know our place is not the best place to be at. I completely understand, you know.
Thank you, babe.
As long as you come back home to me eventually, that's all I ask.
I will, babe, of course, of course.
Yeah, I'm just one of the best for what's best for your energy, babe, and you're my support.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You're welcome. I love you.
Sounds good. So yeah, that relationship was wild. I love when my hubby calls me in like the middle of the day. Okay. That relationship ended horribly. Where my parents had to, I think it was like my uncle, my auntie, it was like a car packed full of people, like the squad came through and picked me up from freaking Tallahassee. They picked me up from the dorms first, and like I remember sleeping on this freaking mattress with my ex-roommate, just like, I think it was like bare, and I remember having to use like a blow dryer on the hot setting to blow it on my face to stay warm in that place because there was like no heat or something. Like, it was a sucky freaking dorms. Like, that time of my life was so sucky. So it was, like, everything was just making me feel like I need to get the frick up out of here. So like, I was leaving from one place to the next because I was uncomfortable, and like it just felt like I was constantly fighting with people. And they came to pick me up, and I actually moved in with my auntie Kim because my dad felt like maybe I needed like some female support or something, like someone to talk to. And like when I came back, I was so serious about getting into church. Like I needed to heal so bad. Mr. Me Too, hey, come here, come here, come here. You know you want to come. You know you want to come. Come here. Hi. Oh, come back. Hey, right here. Come here, boo-boo. Really? Now I have to go get them. All right, whatever. So I just realized like I just really need to build the life that I see in my head, or else it could cost someone else's happiness. My relationships after that relationship have taken a turn for the best. So I had decided that I was gonna try people. It was like a type of people that I actually had to entertain relationships with, instead of going for like the guys that I kind of was going for before. It was I looked for people that, or I talked to people that were more calm, and like I realized that they could hold conversation, you know, doing something good with their life, clean in spirit, clean in their environment, like they had family around them that has their back. Just like I checked into where they came from, more about meeting the parents, more about who they surround themselves with. Like now I want to meet friends, and I want to know all about the person, who is around them, what influences their mind. And so the relationship that I'm in now, I'm married to my man, and he's the one that I knew it was something that I needed in my life to be holding myself to my best standard, because he loves himself, his family loves him so much, like a gang, like, you know, they've got so much love to share, and it's not a place of resentment or hate or anything negative. There's no darkness there. So I'm the one with the issues that I'm having to heal and deal with, and not him. So we have one person that I know how to deal with my problems, and I'm not projecting it onto people. And then we have another person that is just like, he's good, you know, at least that's what I see. Like he's got his family, he's got his mom and dad that are still married together, he's got siblings, you know, doesn't have lonely issues, he doesn't have personality issues, he's ambitious, you know, all of these standards that I felt I needed to raise the bar when it comes to the person that I'm dealing with, spending my energy on, allowing to enter my body, allowing into my life. If they're calling me or texting me, or I'm just allowing them in my personal space, they need to bring me some kind of uplifting feelings, because that's what I do for other people, and I know my value to other people now. It took time and it took a lot of experience and pain, but I know where I am now. And so even with my friends, I've become like a no negative vibe woman, and it's like my motto for life. Like, don't bring me no drama, don't bring me no chaos, know how to conversate with me. If you have a problem, we need to talk about it face to face. And so what I want to tell you is I hope that this resonates with somebody, because I'm letting you into a personal space of mine, which I don't talk to people about this information. Not a therapist, not my mom, not my dad. My auntie is probably one of the only people that more so knows information about me, because she was actively there. She made it a point to come and rescue me out of these situations. My mom came through and she rescued me from the first abusive relationship. So if this is resonating with you and you know somebody that's going through a relationship like this right now, I want to tell you that you need to raise your standards. You need to love yourself, and it's so difficult to love yourself when all you can think about is people abusing you, and you can't even find the value in yourself. But what you need to do is, day by day, you eat good, you sleep good, you take care of this physical vessel that you're in, you exercise, you get sunlight, you eat foods with colors, a lot of colors, kale, blueberries, raspberries, fresh juices, because all of these things can spiral into a place of no self-love and depression and anxiety. And the people that are around you, they need to be in good relationships as well, have good parents, good family, because all of these things can again spiral you into things that are self-destructive again. You know, and it's different if you have like a relative or somebody that you know is gonna come out on the bright side and you don't think that they're gonna drag you down, so you kind of help them too. But if it's a case where I've dealt with this too, like a girl, she was just like texting me and she kept saying like this person is abusive, and like, you know, day by day I just kept saying, you just do something about it, you know, your son is involved. And it was just like the text messages were continuing to be the same. It wasn't as if she wanted to do anything about it, and so I had to actually cut myself off, because to me it was like an energy drainer to keep repeating the same thing and to not see anything done, because it hurts me to see people hurt by people, a woman hurt by a man, man hurt by a woman. I don't think people deserve it, and no growth can happen. It's actually very destructive when you have a person of darkness in your life. So my message for mothers out there is to protect your children in a way of wisdom, and that means not in an anxious way where you're constantly just like asking a lot of questions to your children, like what time will you be home and who is this person. And you have to do things in a silent way, where you do your research on the people's parents. You spend a little time with people that your child is hanging around, like male or their parents. Some way, somehow, you want to get into their life and catch a vibe of where the person's coming from, and see where the family is. Are the parents still married? Did they beat the child? Is there a boy in that family that might just rape your daughter? You know, are you gonna let them sleep over there before you even check out the whole household? Because I've been dropped off to houses, and like that's how the rape happened when I was young. I've been sexually taken advantage of by girls that my mom had dropped me off to, and so a lot of these things are around sex and being young and not having the knowledge of what is out there in the world, that people are just ready to take things from you and you don't have to conversate about it. That's how I was raised, or that's what I thought when I was young, that there's just like, oh, this happened or that happened. You kind of just like take it as that's what happens after a while. But it's not right. It's for your parents. It's for you as a parent to have the wisdom and create like a shelter for your child. And so wherever they are spending their time, you can know that they are safe there with full confidence. Or just bring the friends over to your house instead and you monitor them. It's always about having some kind of a supervision for children, in not an anxious or scared way, but in a very calm and in control way, so that your child doesn't feel like you're suffocating them, because that's how they can rebel against you. You know, children get to the age where, you know, around 12, 13, they start thinking that I got this. After the first decade of life, you should feel like I'm more confident in this world and I can operate on certain levels. So like by the time they're 16, they're definitely gonna feel like I can do more things on my own. And so if you're trying to overcrowd them, they're gonna, a lot of cases, the child would feel like rebelling to do their own thing, just kind of like a friction thing. You want to do the opposite. Or it depends on the relationship, of course, but watch your children and watch where they spend their time, watch where you're dropping them off. So what really made me make the decision to make this video is that last week I went to a bank in Brickell, and Brickell, Miami, a big bank. They handle big accounts, and my family deals with a particular banker, and I'm not going to say any names because I am afraid of what they might do to me, because it's like a big company, big corporation, and I don't want this to be going back and forth. Like, I just don't want any drama. I don't want the negativity, you know what I mean? So I was at this bank, and like we always ask for the same guy. And it ended up being a situation where he was like forcibly trying to kiss me in a private room, and it was very forceful and it was very misunderstood from his end. I don't know what he got from me that made him think that he could try to kiss me in my mouth or like hold me, like, but I was just like so shocked about it. I didn't know what to do, and I had a panic attack after that happened. And it was one of those situations again where I wasn't going to tell anybody. I was just like, you know, just deal with it in yourself, think about what you're going to do. I was in shock, I guess. And it just so happened that my dad called me at perfect timing, and I just was like, and can you believe that the guy tried to kiss me, like literally tried to kiss me in my mouth very forcibly in a private room. And then my husband heard that, and he ran into the bank and talked to the manager there, and she was like, we don't deal with things this way. And he's like, you're not supposed to be doing this in a professional environment. And she was like, we'll check over the cameras and I'll get back to you tomorrow. And so he went into work, and then he called me when I was leaving from the area, and he said, I think we should file a police report. And so I was like, let's do it. I didn't know, my brain was so foggy. I was like crying, I was hyperventilating. Like, I was so shook. I could have just sat still and just kept on like rocking and just like repeating the thought and just been like confused for like an hour if I didn't have people around me. So I did end up going to file a police report, and I actually couldn't tell. I was having a hard time telling the policeman what happened. So like he was just like, what happened? And I was like, I can't talk about this, can I get a pen and paper? And then when it came down to it, I was like, I couldn't even write it. Like, I was like, where do I even begin? Like, why do I even have to be telling this story right now? Like, I don't want to be entertaining this. And so like the guy ended up helping me out, and the cop came over, thank goodness, because like, you know, a lot of people feel like cops are not good people because they just don't care. But I think it's like something that they have to deal with. Maybe that's making them feel like I don't get paid enough, or like, I don't know, maybe they go through enough crap where they just don't have the space to care so much. Maybe it's just Miami. So the guy ended up coming over, and he just like helped me write the report, you know. And I told him the story, and he was just like, this is a 32, it's battery. And it's really unfortunate. I'm not healed from this yet. This just happened last week. So basically, like, the police station in Miami had me going back and forth. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to do this as best as I can. So like, they had me running back and forth between the police station, and they actually told me that, you know, unfortunately in Miami, like, a lot of this happens a lot of times, like, but there's no evidence, so they can't do anything about it. And this is not in revenge. Like, I just seriously feel it in my heart to talk to somebody that may be going through a similar situation, because I felt what other people may be feeling, that nothing is being done, and you just feel like a stupid female, or it's just like you don't want to talk about it to people because they're gonna look at you like you're a victim. But I completely understand. I understand like why people don't go to the system and share their story or like try to have something done, because at the end of it, nothing got done. They just kept they sent me to the state attorney's office, and then the state attorney sent me back to the police department saying that they needed some more paperwork, and like it was as if they were not communicating with each other. Like none of them knew. I went to 3 different places in one day, and all of them were like, no, we don't handle that part, or like, why, I don't know why they keep sending people here, because we told them already we don't. And then they sent me to another location. I'd have to repeat and write the story over and over again, and it was just like I was repetitively going through the freaking situation because I had to recall everything. And I had to make the decision, like, you know what, I'm doing this to myself at this point. I cannot keep on retelling this story, because every time I tell it, it's just bringing me down. So it feels like a trust issue with men, and the guy was probably like in his 70s. It feels like I don't want to look in the eyes of any older guys now. It feels like women are just sexual objects to people. And I'm crying for no reason a lot of times. I cried for 2 days straight, just like water wells coming out of my eyes. I emotionally ate. I ate 2 or 3 tubs of small tubs of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, knowing that it's not the best for my body, but because I had been so emotionally low, my standards were lowered, and that always happens. My standards are lowered whenever my emotional state is not okay. Like, I'm lactose intolerant, I'm dairy allergic. Like, I get rashes and breakouts from any kind of dairy, whey, milk. This video is not about that topic, but I will eat all of those things just because I'm trying to feel happy in my brain from food. And so that's another thing to watch out for if you're going through an abusive relationship, is emotional eating. And also telling your story over and over and over. At some point, yeah, sure, you do heal. Like, I let enough time go by from the 2 relationships that I had told you about, and I'd overcome that. So I'm able to tell you the story even though I haven't shared them with many people, and I haven't like repeated that story. I kind of just like hold that in myself, and I'm like, charge it to the game. It happened. Move forward. Can't just live there, or else I'll be destructing myself and I'll be destructing people around me. So emotional eating is actually in the long run going to make you feel worse about yourself, because then when you come to the light, hopefully you will come to light, or whoever it is that you love, they will come to light. And when that moment happens, you're gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna say, my skin, my belly, my cellulite, my whatever it is, my brain doesn't feel right. And then you get into another cycle that says like, I don't feel good about myself, and I feel like crap, and I'm fat, and my skin is horrible, and my nails are crappy. And it's just a cycle of not loving yourself because someone else doesn't love you or didn't take care of you. It's not right, but it's what happens a lot. So depression happens, emotional eating happens, anxiety happens. And so what I have to do, what I've been having to do is I've been having to identify these feelings, and I just have to put like a limit on it. Because I identify the feeling, I'm like, okay, my brain is telling me like, go eat some ice cream. And then, you know, I'm like, my night of eating ice cream, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take care of this feeling, but tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna feel happy. Like, I'm not gonna feel foggy, I'm not gonna feel confused, I'm not gonna want to cry all day, and have like a negative outlook towards the world, because it's not all of the world, it's just a lot of the world that has a lot of bad things happening to people. And I make sure I spend a lot of time exercising and eating right. and being in nature, being in a lot of light, because that affects the mood as well. Being around people that make me feel positive and happy. You know, just being in good vibes, it's good surroundings. So this is also a lesson. I think you should look at it like this as well. This is a lesson for the future, that I just need to have personal higher standards for myself, and so do you. You need to have good friends around you. You need to like take care of your nails, you know, brush your teeth. Like, I know it can feel so easy to just like let yourself go because you have literally no motivation to, or even energy to take care of yourself, you know. And all the things that make you feel good are just like that. It's like you won't do that, you won't do it anymore. The only thing you can think to do is eat, or just like something else that's bad, like drinking or smoking, or something else that just like takes you into, it alters your mind, it takes you into another reality. So I think personally, with my experience, it stems from not feeling love from both of my parents, and not feeling standards for myself because of the standards that my parents have laid down on me. And I don't like to blame people, and you know, blame goes where it's supposed to go. Like, things are cause and effect, and every action has a consequence to it, or a reaction. But I'm not the one to keep on saying like it's because of but I do think that some things have affected me, such as I didn't think a certain way about men and like self-love from I was young, because I was told that I was stupid by one parent, and then the other parent was like never there, or like, you know, it was just always about focusing on school and then being gone all the time, or just like I was never good enough. Like, I'm always trying to please that other parent, never really feeling happy with myself, like never hearing that, oh my gosh, you know, you're so beautiful and you're so smart, and just like all of these things that make a child feel like they can operate through the world, I guess. It stems from there. And like later on in life, I had to tell myself these things. I had to tell myself slowly but surely, like a lot of things about myself are actually very beautiful, and my personality is beautiful, and the effect that I have on people is uplifting, and I am actually a good person, and people actually feel good around me, you know. So I should feel good when people are around me. So it definitely stems from the way that you're raised, your environment, if it's love versus hate, because a lot of times you can look at yourself the same way. If your parents are telling you that you are something, you know, they made you, so you kind of accept a lot of those things. But you have to look for yourself and question if they're telling you that you're stupid, or if they're telling you that your grades aren't good enough. Grades are not everything. Grades is just how well can you complete instructions for an assignment and matching up with those points. But that doesn't mean that you're not wise, that you're not smart, that you're not intelligent, because everybody's smart in their own right, in their own way. Like, one person is good with their hands and no one else can do the same thing. One person knows how to bend their body one way and another can't do that, or like inspire somebody with motivational speaking and another person can't do that. So we're all really smart in our own way. So you as parents out there, you know, love is the only way to grow. You have to give your child the space to feel confident in themselves, feel confident in every single step, because if you're filling your child with any kind of doubt, and especially in their brain, they're gonna have to live with that every single day. Like, it could become another little factor that feels like a challenge, like, oh, I'm not good enough to apply to this job because I'm not smart, or I don't look good enough. And then it's like, it just slowly but surely plays out in their life, and you're just like, why are they not doing so well? Take a look at yourself, because you've raised this child from out the womb. And so a lot of things that are in their head is from you, and from friends, and from teachers at school, or whoever that they're around. That's what they're made of, unless if they're like reading things and they're like having super character heroes in their head, and they're like, I'm gonna be that person, or they look up to idols because there's no one in their life, in their real life, to look up to. So they start looking at like rappers and musicians, and like, is that a good role model either? Because next thing you know, they could be like, yeah, I don't give a F about this and that, and it's just like they're playing out the whole personality of a whole nother person that maybe you don't you don't think is the best role model for their life. So how about you be the role model? You know, give them love and a place to grow. And that's my point. Just, you know, help them grow. That's the point why I think you had a child, is so that you could raise another life. Or if it's an accident, don't ever tell them that they're an accident, because they're gonna feel like they don't belong. Your job is to help them grow whole, not like just the body growing, not just the brain growing, but everything. It has to be a complete job, so that they can grow up to be a well-rounded person and operate in this world. So yeah, for the girls that feel like this is resonating with you, if you can relate to these topics and you're in a relationship right now, whether if it's your friends or your lover, male or female, love yourself first, love another person after, because you're able to love another person way better if you can love yourself. If you're in depression right now, you need to eat foods with color, you need to go out and exercise, and you just need to, if there's anybody in your life that makes you smile, you need to talk with that person. And if they care about you enough, they're going to actively get involved in your life, and they're going to make sure that you come out of your depression. You're going to be in a whole new life if they really care that much. If you're in a situation where you're by yourself and you have no one to reach out to, you need to be strong, and you are strong because you've made it this far, and you crying is just a result of something that has happened to you. It doesn't make you weak, it doesn't make you a victim, it doesn't mean you should hate yourself, and it doesn't mean you should kill yourself, because guess what? That's a very selfish act. Actually, you're worth so much more to so many people once you overcome this. And so you just need to get through, because there's so many other people in the world that are dealing with the same thing, and they don't feel like they can talk to anybody about it because no one really cares, to be honest. But the people that are going through it care, and the people that have children and they truly love their children, they care. So put light to the situation. Please write down in the comments below, just like, let's have a conversation, or we can have a private messaging going on and just like share it. I don't know if there's like anything else that I can say or do, or just like if there's something that I can share that will help you to overcome certain things. Like, let's friggin' do nails together, like let's go exercise together. I don't know, like let's do like a self-love exercise, or like self-love video of music playlists, something like that. Just like whatever it is that you think is a good idea, message it to me. Please share this video if there's somebody that can use this information. And love is so strong. Love is so strong, and hate is also strong. Hate destroys, love grows. That's simply it, you know. Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Penguin, for helping me get through this, and I'm so grateful to my husband for helping me get through this as well. He's always just saying like I have his support, and you know, he's the one that actually made me pull through and make some actions happen. And he's been there for me all the way, you know, as much as he can be there for me. And so the rest is up to me. I have to just heal in myself, and the rest is up to you. You have to heal within yourself, and not try to project onto other people. Just stay silent in yourself, and you'll get through. There's always light at the end, even if you can't feel it and you don't see what's happening after. The decision is yours, really. The decision is yours to make today. Like, you want tomorrow to be a better day, just make the decision, and know that you have so many options in the world. If you live with a person, you can start making actions to getting your own house, or just like getting a license to work as there's so many different licenses that you can achieve within 2 months. Like, you can get involved with real estate. People are always moving. Every single day people are moving or selling their houses, or like trying to rent a new home. You can get involved with beauty school. You can graduate from a beauty school within 3 months, and also take yourself out of the situation. If you feel like you're in a really abusive situation, you need to get a family member involved, and you need to like move in with them. Meanwhile, you need to take yourself out, and like hopefully you're independent already and you're not depending on them. But if you are, then you definitely need to move out. Safety first, because you never know how far the person will go, and start working on you, because at the end of it you're gonna be happy. But if you don't move out of the situation, chances are that I'm sorry if this is a harsh truth, but chances are that it will continue, and you have to allow that person to get through things by themselves, and for you to get through things by yourself. So once you make that move, continue to love yourself by eating good foods. Take care of your hair, because when you look in the mirror and you see a person that just looks like they have bags in their eyes and hair is all frizzy, you're just like not taken care of, you're gonna feel even worse about yourself. But once you see yourself looking like, okay, I can go out there, then you feel a little bit better about yourself, you know? We're beautiful people naturally. You just gotta just take care of it. So that's something that I think makes a lot of people feel better, is when they can feel clean and look good, smell good, eat good, you know? So start doing those things. And don't shut people out. If anyone really cares about you, they're asking because they care, not because they're just trying to nag. And especially if it's a person that you know can make a difference for you and can help you out, just getting out of the situation is one step towards a better life. And life is great, you know? It's what you make it. Life can be a drag, and it could be like you hate every single day because you're doing something that you hate every single day, or it could be so pleasant and so beautiful because you've got beautiful people around, you're eating beautiful foods, you see nature a lot of time, or you're traveling all over the place, and you know, good friends, good family, good environments, good. Maybe you can go shopping, maybe that makes you feel better. And just being in control of your life will make you feel better. It'll make you feel a lot better. So there you go. You gotta do something about it. There's no other way. Truly. You have to take yourself out of the situation. There's no other way. So go ahead, girl. Look good. Treat yourself good. Do your makeup. Record yourself if you want to. Start a freaking YouTube channel if you want to. You know how hard it is to just motivate yourself when you're down? I know that there's so much better out here in the world, and there's so much good that can be lived, and like there is a happy place, and I'll get there soon. I'm not there right now, but you and I will get there. We'll get there. You just gotta keep on trying, and I have to keep on trying, and I'm on my way. I'm about to finish my degree. What else is good in my life? I have an online store, sadieco.com. like I'm selling clothes. Like I have 2 beautiful birds that you hear all the time. Like I didn't have to have them, but I love them and they make me laugh all the time. If you need a dog, if that will make you happy, get a dog. I have a great husband. He's so loving. I have an amazing auntie. She's so supportive, and she gives me logical advice, not emotional, and actually can take me somewhere. I have a dad that truly does love me, and I love him. Just, it is what it is. It is what it is, you know? But I do have a legal family. Like my husband's family is really loving, really supportive in every way as well. I have an amazing grandma. You know, there's not just these negative people that are in my past and like that have done negative things to me, even though that does seem to crowd judgment a lot of times. It's just like, oh, life is bad when bad things happen, or like bad people are in your life. But it's as easy as like disconnecting them from your life and involving yourself with people that are actually positive for you. Like I could call my friend Boris right now and he'll probably make me smile. He's gonna make me smile because that's what he's all about. Just like being happy. You don't want no jealous boyfriends or girlfriends neither, because that's drama. Like you deserve to be loved. It doesn't mean that you should, there's like diseases out there and like little viruses from dirty little penises and all that, and dirty little vaginas. So you don't need to be like sharing it all over the world. But to go out for like a lunch or go out to the beach and like go exercise with somebody in an innocent manner, like not like you're trying to actually hook up with somebody, and you can actually link up your girlfriends and your boyfriend or your husband together, that's a great world. In my world, like jealousy doesn't need to be existing around here, as long as you know that we have to understand. I'm really looking for some nice females in my life too though, but I know that the guys in my life, if they're still in my life, then I know that they respect my marriage, and I know that they want to meet my husband too. It's just for him to say I want to meet the person as well. So I don't want no jealousy issues, you know. So I think that's all I'm gonna say for this video. you know, I think I'm just gonna edit this and post it today so you guys can get this as soon as possible. It's been on my brain for like a week or two now, and then that incident happened last week and I was like, I'm gonna talk to some people about this. Like, and smile. Give me a smile right now. Just go ahead and smile. It feels good. You'll actually release something in your brain that just feels good. Feels better than frowning, I'll tell you that. And you won't get any little frowny face. You know what I'm saying? You have to smile, or else your face will start looking like this. You know what I'm saying? You have to. For the sake of your facial lines and wrinkles. I love you. Take care. Bye.